My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. All right, guys? And, I want to talk about, Americans who hate America and hate America 250. And I don't just mean Mom Donnie. How long has Mom Donnie been a citizen? 6 years? 8 years? Less than 10 years. Mom Donnie's been a citizen of the United States. And he sits down at the desk of our first president, General George Washington, and lectures us on what it means to be America and what America is all about. Is he out of his mind, Mom Donnie? Now, the arrogance. Yeah, tell us what Uganda's about, okay? That's what you know about. But the Democrats and the liberals hating America and hating America 250. I was watching online yesterday this man on the street interview piece that a reporter did in 1976 during the bicentennial. And they were interviewing liberals on the streets, and they were talking just like these jackasses today. Oh, America is this, and the Plymouth Rock landed on us, and, and there's equality. Democrats, liberals that hate America, are losers or moral degenerates who, as opposed to taking personal responsibility for not achieving whatever goals they want in life, to blaming it on America. And the left have always hated America, and it's not Trump derangement syndrome. And I don't mean that Trump derangement syndrome isn't real, but the liberals have always hated America. They've hated everything about it. And, when they say, well, there isn't equality, they talk a lot about that. What does that mean? How can you, if you're talking about where everyone is exactly equal, that's communism. And with the Democrat, communism, like when I was in 8th grade, which was like 1985-ish, 85, 86, somewhere around there. Somewhere between 84 and 86. I can't remember what year 8th grade was. How old are you in 8th grade? 14, 13, 15? I don't know. But I had this civics teacher in 8th grade here in Florida, and he had to be a Reagan conservative at the time, even though he had a ponytail, wasn't married, and had a Corvette. So, but he had to be a Reagan conservative. And and there was a lot of talk about communism then, because the Cold War with the Soviet Union was going on. And I remember he went up to the chalkboard and he explained what communism was. And he said, it's giving everyone in America, if you were to make America a communist state, and this is what all the left, these democratic socialist commies and the left, when they talk about equality, they're talking about financial equality. He said it's taking, and he used this number, $50,000, which is a lot of money now, but it was a lot more. And someone said 13, so 84, 85, I was in 8th grade. But $50,000 was a lot more in 85, I'm here to tell you. So he said, if you took every person in the country and gave them $50,000, okay, and you came back in a year, where would everyone be financially? And he said, this was my 8th grade civics teacher in class on the chalkboard. I didn't really understand it at the time like I do now, but he says if you gave everyone if you divided all the money in the United States up equally, and let's say it was $50,000, and you gave every American $50,000, if you came back in a year, the people that are poor today would be broke and poor in a year, and the rich would be rich again. And you know what? He's so right. You got a bunch of lazy asses who want to, why am I not a millionaire? I sit on my ass all day and watch online porn, and then I game, and then I doom scroll, and then I go to, but why am I not a millionaire? I don't understand. There's successful people out there, and I'm sitting on my ass at mommy and daddy's house eating potato chips, whining all the time. Why is this country so unequal? Exactly. But that's communism. And when you hear the liberals talk about how, they don't, America this, America that, blah, 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 blah. How's that fair going, they're just losers and degenerates, and they're waiting for that magic lottery ticket to make them a success. Well, I got to tell you, if you gave the Powerball lottery to these Democrat socialists, they'd be broke in 2 years and completely destitute. Our great country on our 250th anniversary. How dare you? How dare you? What country even comes close to the United States? None. None. How dare you say something like that about our country on this day? I'm sorry. Very little tolerance. You know how many people have died for the freedom in this country? My goodness. From the very beginning. If you go back to the American Revolution, those soldiers in General Washington's Continental Army, they didn't. Some of them didn't even have shoes. They were eating tree bark during the winter. They weren't getting paid. They weren't getting paid, and they still fought for freedom. That's it. That's it. That's right, USA, USA. Today is the day to celebrate America. The sacrifices that people have gone through, for this country, it is beyond what you can even wrap your head around, right? And the thing about this country, you're never going to have total equality where everyone's equal. That's communism. That's what the communists tried. You guys, they don't require this in school anymore because the commie, democratic socialist commies have taken over the education system. Welcome stealth mode as a member. But we used to have to read George Orwell's masterpiece, Animal Farm, which is an incredible book. Everyone should read Animal Farm. It's a short book, and it's one of the best written, most important books ever written. And it talks about communism, and it uses the farm and the animals to explain it. And the famous line is, "All pigs are equal, but some pigs are more equal than others." I mean, look, I'll give you a textbook example of the failure of communism, and it's right here in the last 24 hours in Mamdani's New York City. So Mamdani, who's been a U.S. citizen 6 to 8 years, sits down at George Washington's desk and lectures us on what it is to be American. What the hell does he know about being American? He eats with his fingers, okay? Food you're not supposed to eat with your fingers. It's not, And so he's telling everybody to turn their thermostat up to 78, which means, I was talking about this, to basically turn on the heat during a heat wave. They shut off how many people's electricity in Queens yesterday? So what? So that Taylor Swift could have her wedding at Madison Square Garden. Think about this. All pigs are equal, but some pigs are more equal than others. George Orwell. He shuts people's electricity off in Queens during a heat wave, so the elite millionaires and billionaires that are at Taylor Swift's wedding can have comfort, have lights and air conditioning at Madison Square Garden. That's what that was all about, don't you know? You regular people, you serfs, you peasants, turn off your air conditioner and suffer. Taylor Swift, it's her world. She's getting married. Turn off your electricity so Taylor can have a great wedding. That's what's important. That's what's important. Adam Sandler's going to marry them, and we don't want him sweating and reading the vows in the dark. Sweat, have heat strokes so the rich elite can have a beautiful wedding in comfort. That's what just happened in New York. Make no mistake about it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig, And this is where MAGA comes to talk. Now, on the next stream, which will be in about 45 minutes, I'll be in the studio taking live calls, and you're welcome to call me on the air. But make no mistake about it, Mom Donnie was telling people, and by the way, after he told everyone to turn their AC up to 78 degrees, a very smart New Yorker went to City Hall with a one of those things where you could test the temperature in a room. 54 degrees at City Hall after he said to do that. Can you believe? Yeah, yes or no? Was Mom Donnie telling people to turn their heat on during the heat wave and not run their air conditioning so that Taylor Swift could have an air-conditioned, beautiful wedding at Madison Square Garden? Yes or no? Of course, that's what it was all about. He didn't want the rich elite to lose their electricity, even though there was a complete no cell phones allowed and everything else, so we don't have pictures or video of it. But it was beautiful. Give me a break. Give me a break. Exactly. That's communism. The rich, elite, and super famous live like kings and queens, and everybody else, in particular in Queens, no electricity for you, no air conditioning for you. You're not rich. You're not famous. I'm Mom Donnie. I'm the mayor. I eat porridge with my fingers, all right? Yeah, and I'm going to sit at George Washington's desk and tell Americans what it means to be an American. He knows what it means to be a commie. Subscribe if you're new. I mean, that's it. That's it. It's disgusting. These are disgusting people. And they're so indoctrinated, it makes total sense. Well, Taylor needs to have a beautiful... Well, what about the rest of people that are having heat stroke? They're peasants. You know, Elon Musk, he was talking... Yeah, Mom Donnie's a clown. No doubt about it, John. Absolutely. Agreed. Elon Musk said it best about Mom Donnie. He says he's built nothing. He's only taken, right? He's done nothing. Mommy and Daddy are rich. Gave him everything. Exactly. Exactly. Very blunt. It's our 250th anniversary. Screw these commies out there trying to destroy our country. But don't blame Trump for these American haters. The left have always hated the country. This is not new. Democrats have always hated America. That's why the Democrats started the insurrection, the Civil War. Right? The Democrats started the insurrection against the federal government, tried to leave the Union, formed their own racist Democrat country, fired on Fort Sumter, and got 1 million Americans killed in the process. You know, the Democrats have always hated the United States. That's why they went in rebellion and started the insurrection. And their insurrection has never ended. The Democrat insurrection has never ended. Yes, America will always win. And the Democrats and the liberals are fewer in number than ever before. That's right. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And in about 40 minutes, I'll be live in the studio taking your live calls. All right? That's right. That's right. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. But make no mistake about it. Mom Donnie wanted everyone to suffer in New York so they could keep the lights on and the AC on for Taylor Swift's wedding at Madison Square Garden. What kind of narcissistic psycho has a wedding in Madison Square Garden? Gee whiz. Imagine if Don Jr. did that. Oh my goodness. They'd freak out. How dare he? There's a heat wave. What about all that electricity? And I don't get Taylor Swift anyway. She's mediocre talent and not good looking at all. I don't see why she's so popular. She got lucky they didn't have a blackout all day, but they did. They had a brownout in Queens. Yeah, multiple blackouts. Yeah, are the media blaming her for it? No. And she probably thinks, well, I'm special. It's my world, and you're just living in it. I'm Taylor Swift. I saw that they had blackouts in Queens. There were other blackouts in New York. I didn't see that. That's right. That's right. Boy, oh boy. Gas prices have dropped like a rock. President Trump's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. We are so blessed to be alive during President Trump's presidency, aren't we? Oh man. These are amazing times that you will remember for the rest of your life. We're living through some very historic times. Most presidents are mediocre, like Bill Clinton, other than Monica Lewinsky getting a BJ in the Oval Office and the impeachment and all that stuff. He's a nothing, not even a speed bump in history, mediocre. Right? This is the most historic presidency of my lifetime, no question about it. And one of the 10 most historic, maybe one of the, you've got, what are the most historic presidencies? George Washington, of course, because he was first, Abraham Lincoln, and Trump. Right? That's right. So he's right there, I think the third most, historic presidency. Mm-hmm. It's 104 every day here in Florida. We don't lose our electricity. Mm-mm. But we don't have psychopath, narcissistic, mediocre singers sucking everything off the electric grid with celebrities. The nerve. The nerve. But it is our 250th anniversary. Absolutely. And it's a great one. It's a great one. I'll be watching the fireworks in D.C. tonight on television. That's going to be so exciting. Everybody should watch that. That's history, man. That's freaking history right there. No doubt about it. Hardcore history. I went and got a haircut. I'm going to be on TV next week. I'm doing a national TV interview, so I had to get a haircut. And everything's closed today. So I had to get it yesterday. God bless America. That's right. Yep. So I'm gonna on the next stream when I'm in the studio, I'll be taking your calls, and I'm gonna go through the incredible and historic speech of President Trump at Mount Rushmore last night, and it was obviously great with a great backdrop. Look at these Democrats. They said that it's been 6 years since they've had fireworks at Mount. Otto pinned Biden because he didn't like Kristi Noem. Said no more fireworks at Mount Rushmore. Can't have fireworks at Mount Rushmore. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve of this shit. I mean, why would Joe Biden not allow fireworks? Because they don't want to celebrate America. Mm-hmm. They don't want to celebrate America. The greatest country that's ever existed is the United States. Without question. Mm-hmm. That's very right. We're number one in everything. We have more freedom than anywhere. Yeah, but I'm gonna go through that, and we'll react to it and break it down and everything else. The Mount Rushmore speech. So don't miss the next stream, which will be in about 30 minutes or so. Yep. But yeah, I was talking to Bean. I saw this man on the street interview from 1976 during the bicentennial, and this guy was interviewing liberals on the street in 1976. They didn't even want to have a bicentennial celebration. They hated America so much. So this is not new. This is how the liberals have always been. They always have hated the country. Why do you think McCarthy had to do his great work? With the commie hearings because they were commie back then trying to take over the country. Right? Mm-hmm. Stony, no F words in the chat. You might be new, so I give you a warning. Come on, have some common decency. All right? No profanity in the chat like that. No F-bombs. Come on. Have some respect. Have some respect. For yourself on top of it, not just everyone else, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. But, you know, it'll be exciting. The next big one will be the 300th anniversary. I doubt I'll be around for the 300th unless I'm 105 years old. Happy birthday, America. Apology accepted. It's bad enough you're a liberal. You got to disgrace yourself. I don't know. Why are you an American, Scaly? Because for the life of me, I can understand why a single American would not love and appreciate Donald Trump. Yeah, I would, I tell you this, I would recommend staying home tonight and watching the fireworks in D.C. at home because the 4th of July, and this is a big one, the 250th, it's a Saturday. Very few people have to go to work on Sunday, so people will be drinking heavily. You don't want to be on the road after the fireworks tonight. There's going to be too many drunks out there, so stay home and watch it on TV. That's right. I'm going to a Halloween party, or a 4th of July party. Halloween party. I'm going to a 4th of July party, but I'll be home well before all of that. I'm serious. This could be a very deadly night on the roads with drunks around America. Liberals may hate America in the 4th of July, but any opportunity to get drunk, they'll take advantage of that. Honky Kong, one warning: do not disparage the United States on this day. One warning. All right? Have some decency. Have some respect. Be a gentleman, if you even know what that is. All right? One warning. This is a special day, you know? America's number one. That's right. Indeed it is. Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. No doubt. Very exciting, isn't it? Absolutely, it's exciting. Mm-hmm. And make sure you subscribe if you're new. In about 30 minutes, I'll be back in the studio taking your live calls, and I'm going to cover President Trump's speech at Mount Rushmore last night. It's an important speech, and we're going to go through it and break it down and react to it and discuss it. Oh, you have to work tonight? Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Now, some people have to work, you know. Proud to be an American. Yeah. Yeah, there's a Wawa right down the street. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly right. And we have the perfect president. Could you imagine? Think about this. If Kamala Harris was president right now, what would she be doing on the 250th anniversary? You know what she'd be doing? Apologizing. She'd probably fly around the world, drunk as usual, but she'd be flying around the world apologizing for America. For what? Giving the world freedom, democracy? Governments run by the people, not kings, queens, and tribal chiefs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Juneteenth is fine. Nothing wrong with Juneteenth. That's the day when the last slaves held by the Democrats in the South in Texas were told by the Republican Union Army that they were free. That's correct. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, nothing wrong with Juneteenth. But no, there's no doubt about it. You know, the blackouts in Queens and yesterday in New York were just so that Taylor Swift could have a wedding and air conditioner and lights. What, you know, and it's so important to talk about that because that's what communism is about. The rich elite like Taylor Swift, they don't do without income. Everybody else has to suffer. You know, yeah. Travis Kelce does have nerve. You know, if Travis Kelce were a real man, he'd stand up and say, "Do not shut those people's electricity off. We'll turn the lights down in here at Madison Square Garden." But no. But he's not. Travis Kelce is a wimp. Mm-hmm. The United States is the oldest democracy. That's right. And in the United States, we are the original anti-colonialist. That's right. The OAC, the original anti-colonialist. We said we're not colonies, we're states, and get the hell out of here, King George. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. Happy 4th of July, yes. I've been seeing people here in South Florida taking pictures at the airport. They renamed the airport Donald John Trump International Airport, Palm Beach Airport, where Air Force One lands, and they changed the signs on I-95. They're changing the sign, everything. It's nice. It's not American propaganda. It's American pride. Every other country in the world's mediocre compared to us. You know, this thing about the gift, you know, these people on the left are so stupid. All they have are meaningless talking points that they don't even understand because they're so feeble-brained. So Qatar gave us this great gift to the United States Air Force, this new Air Force One, right, to honor President Trump and our great country. The Statue of Liberty was gifted to us by France. I don't hear anybody, saying that's a bad thing. The gift of the Statue of Liberty, the gift of this new Air Force One is out of respect for the greatest country that's ever existed. The United States. I don't understand. Oh boy, oh boy. But I'm surprised we haven't seen a tour of the inside yet. We've seen maybe 4 or 5 still images inside the new Air Force One. So they must have something planned, right? Air Force, what are you, a bigot? You have a problem with Middle Eastern people? You must. You must have a problem with Middle Eastern people. Why else would you be saying such ridiculous things? Mm-hmm. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and don't miss my next stream, which will be in about 25 minutes. I'll be in the studio taking your live calls. I'm going to go through and the president's speech at Mount Rushmore last night. Oh, yeah. I'd like to see the new Air Force One nose to nose with the old one so we could get a real size comparison, because this one's about twice the size, they say. I'd like to see them nose to nose. I haven't seen that yet. Mm-hmm. I have not seen that. I don't think they've done it. Yeah, we thank Qatar for that great plane. It's beautiful, absolutely. Why should you be ashamed of a gift? We're not ashamed of the Statue of Liberty. It's a symbol of America, like Air Force One. Liberals are so stupid. They don't even understand the words that come out of their mouth, right? Is Travis Kelsey, uh, is he the husband in that relationship? Yes or no? In that marriage, who's the husband in the Taylor Swift Travis Kelsey family? Is it is Travis Kelsey the husband? Yes or no? Who's in charge? Oh my goodness. Exactly. He's married to this narcissistic, spoiled child where everything revolves around her. Hmm. Do you think they'll get divorced at some point, or is this a long term marriage? What do you guys think? Yes or no? Will Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey be married for the rest of their lives, or will they get divorced? So here's the question: Will they get divorced? Yes or no? Yes or no? Will they get divorced? Yes or no? Everybody. Oh, we got one long term divorce. Mostly divorce. Two long terms. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Divorce wins out on that one. Hmm. Oh man, it is hot and humid here in South Florida. I'm sweating just sitting here. It doesn't help that I have hot coffee here. It's steaming in my face, but well, people don't have a lot of hope for that marriage. I saw two long terms, less than a year. Oh my goodness. Wow. Then she'll write a song about it. She'll have a whole album dedicated to the biggest breakup of all. See, I'm not. I don't follow the life and career of Taylor Swift, but this is what I think. I think this is why she got married. I think she got married just as a PR thing. You know, she's gotten in her head she has to grow with her audience, right? So her fans are at that age where they're getting married. So she has to grow with her audience. So she got married so she could be where her fan base is. Does that make sense? That's the only reason she got married. So bizarre. Celebrities. The high profile celebrity weddings of the past, they never last. Michael Jackson with Lisa Marie Presley, that was a big one. When Elizabeth Taylor got married under this tent, they were trying to keep the press out. That didn't last. They just don't last, these celebrity weddings. Hmm. Well, listen, guys, I got to get back to the studio. So in 20 minutes, I'll be live in the studio taking your calls. So those of you that are new, subscribe, all right? My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you in just a few.